Hey yo guys, time for my TNA Against All Odds review. Obviously TNA Against All Odds was last night from the Bible Center in Greensville, South Carolina. So let's just get to the review. So the show started very patriotic with some guy who they mentioned once and I never caught his name again, sang the United States National Anthem with the U.S. Marine Guards from Greensville, South Carolina. So after that, and then we had the video package, which was very American patriotic, like, you know, I guess to persuade voters or something, I don't know. But anyways, then we went to the first match, which was the TNA World Tag Team Championship match, BG James and Bullet Bob Armstrong versus AJ Styles and Tomko. What better way to start the show off with a 67-year-old man, starting off the pay-per-view. I did think it was kind of weird you started with a title match. You know, it was nice that you got one of the first case matches over with, because this was the tag title shot, and you just got this title match out of the way too. This was a pretty bad match all in all. I mean, it kind of was what I expect. It was exactly what I expected. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect much from it, and I didn't really get it. I mean, Bullet Bob just kind of, AJ and Tomko argued throughout the whole thing, and not much really happened. The finish was set up after AJ really missile drop kicked BG to the knee, and BG really couldn't go anywhere, so then AJ and Tomko hit the tornado plex for the win. And then after the match, James came down, and I thought he was going to turn on BG, but he didn't. So that was that match. It wasn't the best match to open up the show. Anyways, then we went to the next match. Banks versus Tracie Brooks. This was a little good match. It was 5 minutes, like what I said it would be. They definitely didn't give it like a lot of time, which they didn't need to do. And you know, they did it great with a brawl. And the thing I liked about it is how Peyton Banks used legit moves. Like she used the backpack lung blower on Tracie Brooks and almost got the win there. But the finish is like a typical finish, and you'll see in TNA where Peyton Banks went to charge Miss Brooks in the corner, first in the ring post. Tracie Brooks got the roll up. And that was the match. Short but sweet, let's just put it that way. It was a pretty decent match. Then we went to the back and had Scott Steiner and Petey Williams do some promos, and the returning Scott Hudson was there. And Scott Hudson, you'll remember, was the guy in WCW around '99 to the demise of the company, and he had was there in WWE or WWF for a week when they were trying to originally start the invasion thing. And they just kind of a little funny promo. I think Petey Williams' Maple Leaf Muscle character is working a lot. Anyways, then we went to the match there, and you know, Petey Williams was doing Scott Steiner spots. I mean, instead of doing push-ups, he did some sit-ups. When Scott Steiner went to do his elbow after he went to kiss the biceps, Williams popped up and started doing some push-ups. So that was funny. Then Williams started to get on a roll here. He had a nice hurricane. He even did a Steiner recliner, which I thought was kind of funny. And then I thought this match was going great, but then they just took all that away when they had some RuPaul lookalike. Swear to God, that was RuPaul coming down there. Come up and get on the apron and distract Petey Williams, and then Steiner hit like a last ride power bomb for the win, and you know, now he's got both cases. So that really took a lot away from the match, and you know, I was kind of disappointed with that. The drinking championship match, James Storm versus Eric Young. It was a really good match. I thought these two guys gelled a lot. I mean, Eric Young hit the crossbody to the floor, Young with the snap suplex on the concrete, and Storm with the hip toss on the concrete, which I didn't mind. And then Young did the double Death Valley driver to James Storm and Miss Jackie Moore. I didn't like how Miss Jackie Moore got in the ring, but whatever, I guess you can take it away. And then the came was when Miss Jackie Moore distracted referee and gave James Storm a beer bottle, but then Rhino returned and hit the gore on Storm to allow Eric Young to get the win. Yeah, so then Rhino got on the mic and did a little short promo saying he's got a lot to say and this isn't the time to do it, so he'll do it on Impact. So I didn't like how the people who paid money to see this, you know, they were, and then they have to wait to Impact or something he's got to say, even though I didn't think he'd right on it really need the mic. And anyways, then we went back to Orlando where they had Jim Cornette and Crystal, pretty much more Jim Cornette than anything, hype up the Barbwire Massacre match, and I thought that's when they were going to do it, but no, we went to the TNA Knockout Championship match, which was ODB versus Awesome Kong. Crowd was really into ODB. Pretty much the crowd was hot all night, let's just say it this way. crowd was happy that they had one of the mainstream promotions in their town and they're in a little arena. So I mean, that's one thing I do like about the TNA pay-per-views outside is they're happy that, you know, they get this wrestling outside and the crowds are always hot. But yeah, but this match was a bit of a disappointment here. I mean, Kong pretty much dominated the whole thing. I mean, Kong with a big avalanche in the corner. Kong was starting to do a beatdown on the floor. ODB with the Fez press using the second. ODB went and tried to do a British Bulldog type power slam, but she more just like tossed her off. ODB kicked out of Kong's implant buster, which was very nice, and Kong got the win after she hit the awesome bomb after ODB was distracted by Kong's manager. So, bit of a disappointment, I mean, but then again, we weren't expecting that much from ODB and Kong. Then we went to Barbwire Massacre II. Gotta say, I'm not a fan of barbed wire matches, and this one was probably the most boring barbed wire matches. I mean, I've seen the first one that happened at Turning Point in 2005 was really good. The crowd was hot into it, even though this crowd really wasn't that hot into it, and it was tape delayed still. I mean, the stuff in ECW was good, or the stuff at Hardcore Homecoming was good, because the crowd was more into it. This one was boring and slow, and eh. I mean, Abyss watched on the barbed wire chair. Abyss threw gorilla pressed Mesias onto the barbed wire, like chest first, and then gave him a choke slam on the outside on a barbed wire board. Mitchell took a bump but not on barbed wire, and I mean, Abyss got hit in the head with the barbed wire chair, and Abyss got the win with the black hole slam on the barbed wire board. So, you know, I was disappointed. I feel bad for Abyss because all his matches are now blood and guts. I mean, his career is pretty much ruined because from 2007 to now, everything he has to bleed and every match, so I didn't like that. Then we went to Roode versus Booker T, but before the match, Roode cut a great promo and I liked how it ended. Now you can dig that, bitch. I thought that was so good. Pretty much this was told a good story. I would say this one told a decent little story here of pretty much Booker T getting his revenge and just laying an ass whooping down on Robert Roode. T was just dominating. A nice short arm crescent kick, a nice spin kick by Booker T, and I mean, anytime Roode would get some offense, T would just turn it away, and we just, yeah, go back into control. And then at the 13-minute mark, Robert Roode left the ring and Booker T followed suit, so they both got double counted out, which I didn't like. But, you know, I guess this feud will continue, and Roode fled away like he did on Impact in a car, so. I like how I threw Miss Peyton Banks out either. I didn't like that at all. Then we went to the 6-man street fight, Team 3D and Johnny Devine versus the Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal. This one started pretty good. I mean, it started on the floor. Lethal used a road sign that said, "Use my sign," but it was actually a dead-end street sign. There was a triple slingshot by the Guns, triple tornado DDTs by them as well. There was a nice little spot, I thought, where the Guns had both members of Team 3D in like a sleeper, and Lethal was there, but they dubbed the Japanese arm trade Lethal, and they just fell back. I thought that was cool. The Guns hit total elimination, which I marked out for. I mean, only person I think who can call that move is Joey Styles, but they called it the high-low. What the hell is that, TNA? And then after that, the total elimination, there was no more of the Motor City Machine Guns, and they brought SoCal Val, and they teased they were going to cut her in the head with a cheese grate. She did some pretty good acting, that one, I will say. And then, you know, the story then from there was Lethal having to defend the X Division title by himself. It was a 3-on-1 handicap. And then, but before the match, they announced that it was for the X Division title. Like, they just made the rules up as they went, which I didn't like, but whatever. And then pretty much, I mean, Lethal was on fire, and Lethal got the win with elbow through a table on Chavon. So now he's the X Division champion, which I like him as champion, but thanks for just making up the rules as he goes. So I'd take some from that, but yeah, and then they teased that Brother Ray would leave with the X Division belt, but he didn't, so yeah, and Sanjay came to celebrate, so I think now their next program will be Lethal Death. And then we went to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match, Christian Cage versus Kurt Angle. This one had a slow start. I mean, Cage got ripped off the middle rope, and he landed right on his shoulder. His shoulder went like straight red after that, and I thought, damn, I thought he broke his shoulder there. These two put on an excellent match. I mean, Angle, as I said, pulled him off there. Cage did a like German suplex, release German suplex, where Angle landed on his head. Cage German on his head. Cage with a nice frog splash for the near fall. And then they had a great matchup. And then they had the ref bump. And then Joe got in there and took over as ref. And, you know, Kurt avalanched Angle, or Karen in the corner. Joe stopped AJ from coming in. They brawled in the crowd. And then Tomko came down and took a chair away from Angle. And it looked like he was going to do... They did the same finish sort of at Final Resolution. It looked like he was going to help Cage, but no, he just turned. He hit the Tomko on Cage, and Angle got the win. So all in all, this pay-per-view, thumbs in the middle. Some stuff I didn't like, but like the last 2 matches saved the show. I did like the fact that the crowd was hot all night. But anyway, that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.